And that's it. We're live, Dean Mitchell.
We are live. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing perfect.
Merry
Peachy.
Merry post Christmas and pre New Year.
Yeah. It's been quite weird, especially over here with the restrictions in Canada. We had a very quiet Christmas. We weren't able to be more than 10 people. weren't allowed to be more than 10 people, and now we're not able to be more than six for New Year's. So it's gonna be a quiet New Year's, but hey, we're making the best of it, right?
Yeah, at least we have this. At least,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Because if it was just phones, if it was 1985 and we were paying by the minute, it wouldn't be like this. This isn't the worst, at
Yeah,
least.
true.
So
Yes, sir.
cool. So we got some people jumping in, and we get this Tint Wisdom number 141 rolling. Last one of the
Already.
year.
Oh, so I guess I'm lucky.
Yeah. Last one of 21, and a very deserving topic to talk about. So we're here today. You're here today. We're going to talk about Tinters for a Cause, a charity that you're heading for window tinters as it sounds. And I'll let you kind of speak a little more on what Tinters for a Cause is.
Yeah, so basically, with what's been going on in the past couple of years, and the success that we've had with charity events, just that came out of the blue, right? John Little, we had Donnie Dixon, and then more recently we had Little Haley. In all these events, it was pretty awesome to see the tint community come. And listen, when I say tint community, I mean the industry as a whole. So, because I've been asked why Tinters for a Cause? What about PPF installers? It's hard to say PPFers for a cause. So it's Tinters for a Cause, but it reunites the entire industry. So whether you're a vinyl wrapper, whether you're a PPF installer or a window tinter, we're all on the same page. So and these events just gathered the industry as a whole, and we were able to do great things. Like the first one for John Little with we were with Lisa Anderson and her shop in Texas, and we raised, I think, a little over $20,000. And then with David Chuckman in Texas more recently, actually for Tinner Battles, which we kind of the day after was another charity event where we raised. Do you remember how much we raised for Tinner Battles?
I don't
A few
remember at this
thousand bucks,
point.
right?
At that day, but overall, I feel like overall, it was a lot because there was the auctions at the end. There was the whole thing. So combined, I don't completely recall.
I think it was like another $15,000, and then more recently with David Chuckman for Little Haley, it was another $15,000. So that's so I'm like, we got to start doing something. And I've been talking to Steven Sala from Eastman for a while, ever since the first one, because he made it to the first one, and where he was like, we got to one day come up with something and to be able to help on a wider scale. So him and I have always been going back and forth. And I just, after this one in Dallas, just the light went on, and I said, we gotta do something. We got to be able to turn around on a dime and not have to plan events, because it's a lot of work. I mean, you can ask David Chuckman. It was a lot of work to be able to do the amount of cars that we did that day, just to market the event, to get sorry, I'm French. Don't ever forget that. But so to get the community involved, to show up and to be able to tint their windows on such a short notice and stuff like that. But David made it happen. We had great help from Jared Gines and Jessica Sapp, who are social media marketing experts as well. And so having said that, it's been very successful. We've gotten together and said we need to make something happen where we can turn around on a dime, not create those events, just get the entire tint community involved in some way, shape, or form to be able to help out immediately. And that's how this came about. So this is, and I want to make this very clear, Eric. I think you know me now well enough to know that this is not a Dean Mitchell thing. It's not a brand thing. It's an industry thing. I want the whole entire industry to be involved in this, and we're all equal. There's no competition involved. There's no personal involvement. It's an industry involvement.
Right.
And that's the goal here. It's to get as many shops as we want to, not as we want, but as many shops as possible to get on board to be able to help on a wider scale, not just in the US. I want to take this global eventually. But yeah, so that's how this all came about, if that makes any sense.
It does. And what you just said, like something tragic happens and, you try to get together and rally around that person and that cause. But like you said, why not proactively be doing that? Because like the logistics of it are not necessarily the most efficient thing if you're just like on the dime trying to put something together, as opposed to something that's planned out ahead of time could be more impactful. So it
Yeah.
obviously makes sense. And what I love about it is, you said we know each other. The industry knows you. This isn't like Dean Mitchell woke up and was like, "Hey, what would be nice is a charity. So today I'm going to announce a charity." It's like this has been something that we've seen it like take hold with John Little and Lark, and then we saw it, like you said, Tinner Battles and Donnie Dixon. We saw it with Haley, and we're seeing kind of there's other examples too, and we're seeing the reason and the need, and one common denominator in all of those have been you. So it makes sense that you are the person that's spearheading moving this forward.
And I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad to be able I'm glad people perceive me as that voice. And it's true. I mean, I've always been like, I did a post on Facebook recently. I spent I'm going to be 48 years old next week. And I really think that I've lived half my life. Hopefully I live another 48 years, but I want to dedicate my next 48 years to giving back to the industry that's given me so much. I mean, I went from nothing to what I am today because of window tinting, right? So if I can give back in any way, shape, or form, and people put their trust in me and in the industry to get something done that's concrete, that's legit, that's there to make, I've always wanted as a window tinner, because a lot of people outside the industry, the perception of a window tinner or a PPF installer again is often window tinners are fucking crackheads, they're whatever. The perception outside the industry has always been weird, at least on my end, what I've witnessed. But it's not. I mean, there's so many great things that we can do when we get together, and that's the goal, and that's what this charity is all about, is to be able to reunite these guys and put value to what we do, put value to the entire industry. When we start being able to help out in a very big way with the kind of money that we'll be raising, word will get out, and the community, the public will see this industry as a totally different, a much more valuable, respected industry, a tight-knit industry where all tinners we're all very different, but we're all very similar at the same time. So, it's really cool to see. Sorry, I just hit the chair. But yeah, so I don't even know what the hell I was going with this, but
well, look, the effect that you just said it has on the public, it has on the industry as well, because it does build that sense of community.
Yes.
And it's bonding time. It's I got your back time. It's like it's such a big difference. Community is everything.
It is.
I think on all levels, it's about community.
That's where I was going with this. Thank you. But to feel that you have a support team, right? It is much different in the U.S. There's a lot of like in Canada, I guess we're pretty lucky in a sense where our healthcare is free, and there's many instances where window tinners are don't have insurance, right? And their families don't have insurance, and tragedy strikes. What are you going to do? What support system do you have to back you up, right? Well, who better than another window tinner to help you out? What if the entire industry helps you out, right? That's what the goal is. What if you live in Florida, for example, there's hurricanes there every year. What if your shop gets destroyed? Mm-hmm. What do you do, right? If you may have insurance, but what if they don't cover,
look, a fire happens tonight you're in potentially, you're either in a hotel at best case scenario, and tomorrow is unknown, and insurance can be insurance, but you still have a burned down house or shop.
And you've got your wife and kids back home that you're the breadwinner. Is that how you say it? The breadwinner?
Uh-huh.
You bring home the bacon, the
We eat a lot
Canadian
of bread
bacon.
and bacon in the United States.
So and what do? You don't have a shop anymore, so you can't bring home the money. So what do we do with this charity? Well, we're able to get with local contractors, go fly down to Florida, and do an extreme makeover tint shop edition that's 100% funded by the charity, right? And then boom, and the publicity that's involved around what we're going to be able to do will be visible outside our industry and to the public. And that's where I was going, where it's going to create a lot of help me out. It's going to help create a lot of respect for what we do, and a lot of shit. Sorry, I'm French, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's just it's gonna be good for the perception of the public as to what we do, and put value on what we do, and it's going to help our brothers and sisters that are involved in this, and it's going to keep the industry tight knit. The logo says unity, right? And I've always been about unity. I claimed it out loud at Tinter Battles, where I said I've been in this industry for 27 years, and in the past 3 years, I've never seen the industry become united as much as it has been in the past 3 years. And with this charity, that's the goal. Once more, this is not a brand thing. It's not a personal thing. So all the brands are getting involved. I'm waiting on a lot of confirmations, but a lot of big players are on board. And the kind of money we'll be raising will be able to make a world of difference. You know, we're up to 55 shops. Tonight, I signed Tom Kovacs from the Art of Tint in New York, one of the biggest flat glass dealers in the entire country. Came on board tonight as the 55th shop to donate the proceeds of a tint job per month. So we're talking a minimum of $150,000 a year right now with 55 shops. And that's with a minimum of $200 a month investment. So if guys, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. So keep going.
Yeah. So, with the minimum of a $200 tint job donation, to a maximum of $1,000 if you're doing a ceramic job and you feel like donating $1,000. So it could be anywhere between $150,000 to $300,000 right now. And we've only just begun. It's been what, a week and a half now, nearly 2 weeks that we started this charity, and we've secured nearly $200,000 a year. Boom, just like that. There's a lot we can do with $200,000, but can you imagine 500 shops?
Right.
We're talking $3 to $5 million a year.
Right.
So there's a lot of things we can do.
So I know you want to use this Tint Wisdom to answer questions that people have and to open this up as a forum. So we have some questions, and they're perfectly on topic with what you just said. Already between $100,000 and $300,000 a year, potentially based on the shops that signed up, and this is basically 1/10 of even what I think and you think is a reasonable possibility. And then
because we're not including the manufacturers who have agreed to sign up, and what they're going to do is donate a product each week. One brand will donate one product a month, and they each have a week to create an auction and auction it off. That money will go to the charity. So that's besides the 55 shops that are on board. So again, the possibilities are endless, but keep going.
So I'll start bringing up the questions, but I just wanted to encourage everybody that questions are a good thing. So as we're bringing them up, feel free to type other questions in there, because, the first thing that obviously comes up, we can add, the first two comments that I stopped at because they were questions are both about essentially money. Liz said, I love that Tint Wiz got involved tracking the money, because obviously tracking the money is important. And then Jordan asked, when it comes to who gets help, how will that be determined? So that's essentially, where's the money going to be spent, right? So money is not something that's a question. If you have questions about money or anything, this is a great time to get it out there, because this is all about, as I understand, transparency.
So this is what we're going to come up with right now, okay? So right now we're working on creating the nonprofit organization. It's going to be based out of Texas. We've got a lawyer and an accountant. We don't have them officially on board. We need to do our homework, and according to the lawyer, if all goes well, the nonprofit organization should be all ready before the end of January. So it's pretty quick. So we're going to have a board of directors, right? The board of directors is going to be comprised of 3 to 5 people. It has to be an odd number in order to break the ties.
Voting.
And then we're going to have a committee. The committee is going to be comprised of approximately 11 people, or depending on how many people, how many manufacturers we have come on board. I want one rep from every manufacturer to represent themselves within that committee. In order to remain unbiased, we need to have an unbiased group to decide what we do with the money, and to choose what causes we're going to help. So we're going to be scouting social media. We're going to be scouting, looking for people that need help. People can reach out to us, and then we bring that to the committee. The committee decides. There's 11 people out there that decide, and the board of directors signs off and authorizes basically what we do with the money. And everything's going to be out on the open, like 100%. Whatever money is being deposited, whatever money comes out, nobody's taking a salary out from this charity. Unless somebody at one point has to do this job full time, right? Which would make sense. If somebody has to quit their job and do this 100% full time and manage, obviously a salary will be, but whatever, we're far from being there, but there's no salaries that are being given right now. 100% of the funds that are being donated will be visible, will be transparent, and will be going to window tinters, their community, and their family. And there's, like I said, a group of at least 11 people that will be deciding, and then the board of directors just signs off on that. And again, all these discussions will be made public and shared on social media and whatever platform we need to share it on. And the goal is to remain as transparent as possible.
And that's part of like legally how charity has to be run, as I understand. Like if you're doing a charity, which you are, you're not just saying it's a charity, you're forming a legal charity. Part of that legal charity is it has to be transparent, as I understand. That's like fundamental part of it. More transparent than any regular business has to be by far. It's more an open book, because that's part of being a charity.
Yeah, because there's been horror stories in many charities throughout the world, right? And you can donate to any charity without knowing where your money's going. But the cool thing here is that every window tinter, or every shop, or every manufacturer that's on board knows exactly where this money's going and what's being done with the money. The statements will be available for everybody to see, and you know exactly what you're investing into and who you're helping out, right? And we'll be able to do this on a monthly scale. We'll be able to help somebody, depending on how much money comes in. We'll be able to help somebody every month that needs it, right? And the committee will decide how much we give and how much we help and who we help and where we go and the whole 9 yards. So, but yeah, transparency is the goal more than anything else.
Question by Jesse Tint. He said, how can my shop and other shops participate? So that is right there.
Right there. Yep. You can sign. You can fill out the form directly on Tint Wiz. Eric was generous enough to donate his platform and his time to keep control of who comes in and the money and all that stuff. And so we encourage you to fill out the Tint Wiz form, and then I like to get with everybody that signs on to send me their company logos, and I like to make it public. So like I'm going to do with the transparency of Tinters for a Cause, I'm going to do with every shop that comes on board. I'm going to make it public on social media that you're joining and how much we appreciate everybody joining. So that's why you've been seeing a lot of posts on all the Facebook window phone related Facebook pages from me, because I'm so grateful. We're all so grateful of everybody joining. So it's worth mention. So.
Perfect. And, part of why I feel like Tint Wiz will be a good fit to track this, and part of what I think we can organize is, not like you said, there's going to be a project donated each month. There's potentially details and credit to that shop and pictures, and then there's events and so on. So just basically being like, I wanted to help. Just like one aspect of it is the organizational aspect of it, because I know like if this thing, I would never want organization to cause something so great organization shouldn't be an issue. So
and you make it so easy. It's like, fill this out, you're there, you're going to get a monthly reminder right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're going to get a monthly reminder that it's time to donate. And at first, I didn't want to put a minimum on it, but then we look back, and in order to be fair with everybody that's on there, that's supporting and donating, we want a minimum of at least a tint job, right? So the minimum tint job is at least $200 to $250. So within that range is a minimum, and then the sky's the limit after. If you're doing a full ceramic install and you want to donate $1,000, that's, it is what it is, and it's very much appreciated. But we not putting in a minimum would have some people probably just donating $20 a month, which is not the goal of coming on board. If you're coming on board as a tint shop, and the motto is to give the proceeds of one tint job per month, there's no $20 tint job, right? So to make it fair for everybody, we just who knows, you may need it one day, we all may need it one day. And so the more shops we have on board helping, the better it is. You have any other questions that are popping up?
No, lots of very loving comments and supportive comments. But any questions, obviously everybody feel free to drop them in. Go ahead.
I want to read something real quick. I got an interesting, so there's a lot of ideas that we can come up with this charity. And one of them is making sure that no window tinter ever goes without health insurance ever again, right? So if we are able to bring 500 shops, 1,000 shops on board with their employees, can you imagine approaching an insurance company and we're 5,000 to 8,000 people wanting a health insurance plan in the U.S.? God knows it's expensive in the U.S. That's what I was saying before. In Canada, we have it easy because it's free. But in the U.S., you guys, sometimes it's very expensive to have a family insurance. So if we approach an insurance company with 5,000 to 10,000 members, they're going to jump all over us, right? So that's another good thing. But and there's programs that we can get involved with. And I got to read this because I got a message from Taylor Sapp. Let me just find it real quick. Bear with me a second here. And he had a vision as to what we could do with the money and how we can be able to help communities in less privileged neighborhoods or less privileged people, people that grew up with less than, there it is. Hold on. Taylor Sapp. There he is. Okay. Do you mind if I read this?
Let's do it. No, of course not.
Okay. I need to put my glasses because I'm nearing 50. So, all right. So Taylor Sapp reached out to me, and I was super touched when I saw that. And I'm going to read it. Taylor, I hope you don't mind, but Eric, I can't.
All right, we're good.
Okay, you still on? Yeah. So he said, "Good morning, man. I had made a post a couple of days ago in the WFR group about wanting to be a part of Tinters for a Cause. I also had an idea I've been wanting to implement into my business. Actually, I'm going to skip a little bit because Taylor didn't really authorize me to read his side of the story, which is touching. And if he wants to share it on a personal level, what I'm going to say is he grew up. He had it tough when he grew up. Okay, but I'm going to skip that because it's not on me to if he wants to keep it private, he reached out to me, but I'm going to jump ahead to, anyways, I ended up jumping around from house to house. I'm sorry. And that's where my goal stems from. Okay. And that's where my goals stem from. When you grow up in the type of in that type of environment, which is a bad environment, family related and stuff like that, you lose opportunities. And when you age out at 18, that's it. You might get a bus pass, maybe a Visa gift card. And statistically, it's right back to repeat the generational curse. So when I was up living in Jordan, for a while, I had the opportunity to meet Jeff Welch, and we hit it off. And I started working with him. He totally retaught me how to tint after already tinting for 4 years before I met him. The man's a legend. Jeff Welch, you're a legend. Sorry, off topic a little, but while I was up there, I lost my node to an over. Oh, sorry, I don't want to read that. What if there was a group that reached out to all the DCF Lutheran agencies, DFACs, and offered a learning program with a job learning the best trade of them all tinting? maybe wrapping if whatever shop pitches it and chooses. Sorry. These children that age out normally don't have a job due to all the strict curfews and guidelines, and have only ever known things that had them take away from their family. So more than often, they repeat the drugs, the prostitution all over again. I managed to find a way out, and honestly, it was because I learned to tint and had met some of the most amazing people along the way. Anyways, that's my pitch. Jeff loved it. So basically what he's saying, right, as you probably heard me trying to read, is let's create, we'll be able to create a possibility for these people to get out of their help me out.
Their situation.
Their situation. Thank you.
Yeah.
To be able to get to get a job, to learn a trade and live a decent life. I think everybody on here knows that we tinters can make good money, right? And if you're taught a trade and a discipline, and you're able to create your own business and stay away from drugs, stay away from the streets, this is something we'll be able to support. What if the charity can say, "Hey, Jeff Welch, you have a school in your shop, so here's 3 to 4 or 5 people. We paid Jeff to be able to get these guys and girls off the street and teach them a trade." We can do this on a national level, right? Once the money starts pouring in, we'll have the funds in order to be able to support that. So I thought, Taylor, and I'm sorry if I didn't explain it quite as well as I should have, but
I think you did. It's the proactive reach to people who are not necessarily in the best situation, because like Taylor said, you know, if you don't know any different, you don't learn any different, you don't get exposed at some point, like you said, you grow to that stage. And what you made me think of is currently there's people in Philadelphia, I believe. I think it's around downtown Philadelphia, and they're called the squeegee kids. And they're like, you know, teenagers that work basically like, I don't want to like, you know, basically like kids in not necessarily the best situation. They don't have jobs. They're in the streets and they're trying to make money by squeegeeing people's windows at stoplights. So like they're trying to figure out how to like do something with these kids, because they don't want kids in the street squeegeeing windows. Like that's not a solution, but it's becoming a thing. And like, man, who better to learn how to tint windows than somebody already has a squeegee in their hand? You know what I mean? That's what you made me think of. Like you get those kids right up here, right? Squeegee, and they kind of like the concept. Like, you know.
Yeah, and it breaks my heart when I see them, you know, with their signs on a street corner asking for a job. And if they're squeegeeing your windshield, then we can spot these people and, hey, let me take you off the street. Let me teach you a trade, and pay a local shop to be able to show. And it's not on the shop.
A win for everybody.
Paid by us. Mm-hmm. It's a win-win for everybody. So, and we create more labor, and God knows there's a labor shortage in our industry, whether it be for PPF installers or tint installers. So why not be able to help pay guys like Jeff Welch, for example, or any experienced tinter that knows how to teach someone? I'm thinking of Sean Roach as well on in New York, who's a super instructor as well. Oh, Eric, you're gone.
You're here with me. We're still good as far as I can see.
Anyways, can you hear me?
Yeah, everything's perfect.
Okay, sorry, I lost you for a second, but and Sean Roach, and there's Ismail, I think in Massachusetts, a lot of good tint schools out there that we can promote and finance for them to train people to get them off the streets and get a real good job, good paying job, with whether it be in a tint shop or to start their own business or just to create more labor, which we all need. So, I mean, that's the possibilities again are endless with this, and it's it's a win-win for everybody. And so that's the goal with Tinters for a Cause.
There's a few questions. Vinny asked, he said he's been trying to get into the trade schools here in New Jersey to try and run a course for like an automotive class for a week or so. Any thoughts on that? Have you had any experience with a trade school in the past or anything of that nature? With
trade schools for tint?
I believe so.
There are none. There's no such thing.
Have there been
have to go get certified with manufacturers?
Mm-hmm. Does XPEL have any
I'm
like?
sorry, I'm losing you.
Sorry, yeah, no, there's a little delay. Does XPEL have any shops that are like certified training, or is it all within like their own
They
network?
Yeah, it's all within their own network. We offer training at XPEL through our for our dealers only, but there are some tin schools out there, and there are some uh, retail shops, shop owners that do offer training on the side. Like Sean Roach is the best example, right?
Yep,
Window Tint Warriors. He
yep.
offers training to anybody who wants to learn how to tint, right? What if we grab people off the street in New York and say, go to Shine Tech Auto Spa in Medford, New York, and we're going to pay Sean to teach you how to tint, and then support you, and then get you a job, find you a job, and stuff like that. So, but as far as Vinny's question, there being a trade school for tint, I have no idea. I don't think it doesn't exist in Canada. I don't believe it exists in you can learn how to you can go to tech school and learn how to be a plumber, but you can't learn how to be a window tinter, right? So who better to support ourselves and the labor in our industry than ourselves, right? So jumping on board Tinters for a Cause, this is the kind of stuff that we'll be able to support.
John Little had asked if you were going to reveal like the committee or how you're picking the committee or anything related to the committee.
So the committee will be, like I said earlier, a representative from each brand, right? So, for example, Eastman has Steven Sala. I was gonna say something that I can't because you would have all known where David Dillinger's going, but but David Dillinger is going to be representing the committee for the company that he'll be representing. There's Solar Effects. Sean Vogler is going to be part of the committee because he's in there for Solar Effects. So that's the committee. As far as the board of directors, I'm hoping for 5, right? So the attorney has to be in there 100%. So we have an attorney. I think I would be one of them, and right. And I just can't say right now because I have some people in mind that I don't want to. I haven't approached these people yet, and just announcing it here would not be right if should they choose not to accept. So
Right.
but most of it will be like, again, the committee is one representative from each brand, and then the board of directors will be comprised of myself, the lawyer, and then there's going to be 3 other people that I don't want to mention right now because I haven't approached them.
And
But
then
I'm going to be the one deciding who the board members will be, if that's your question. Not the committee. The committee is just if you're the marketing director for 3M and you choose to come on board Tinters for a Cause, and you tell me who you want to represent 3M within Tinters for a Cause. That's all it is.
got it. And then Cody,
There's one person. There's one person I can say that's going to be on the board of directors, and that's Steven Sala from Eastman, because him and I have been like this from day one. So that's all I can say. The attorney I can't say. There's myself, and then we'll see.
Hey, I just want to take a second to point out that the person that you said, like, for sure is.
I hope that answers your question, John.
Sorry, you froze up a bit for a second, but
Oh no,
I
I'm losing
hear
you.
you. Your video is just a little, but you're coming back. I feel like you're going to come back any second. You're back. So I just want to point out, like you said, Steven works for Eastman. Just kind
Eric, I'm losing you.
it just kind of reiterates how this is a non branded thing that says no, like there's no, like this is a tinter / whole community PPF, like you said, thing. And, Steven from XPEL being the one person that you're naming on the board, or Steven from Eastman being the one person that you're naming on the board already, I think really solidifies that statement.
Can you hear me?
You're back.
I'm back. Sorry, the Wi-Fi here is really bad.
It's okay.
What were you saying? I completely lost you. After I said, I hope that answers your question, John.
Yeah, no, I think it was a perfect answer. It was very clear. Cody reiterated Vinny's question, which I think I might have mangled a bit. And basically, I think Vinny's question, according to Cody, which makes sense, was Vinny's trying to see if like about getting tint into a trade school already. Like there's an existing trade school. Has anybody like tried to get tint to be added into a trade school, and what kind of boundaries? And I think it's just a lack of probably, who knows if it's ever even happened, but it's just not a thing, right? It's not a very big, well-known like trade until it's just becoming, you know, like a very, very well-known trade, right? I think we're having,
Uh,
can you hear me okay? What's happening? All right. At least it was just a UFO flying over, causing interference. All right, so we're going to take this opportunity to go back to the comments while, because Carrie's killing it in the comments, and that makes me curious. So we'll go backwards through here. But here is Dean. Dean is back.
sorry.
Ah, you're perfect.
I'm sorry, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's perfect. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, damn. Sorry. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So
Where were we?
I don't know. We're at a good, fresh, new starting point of a topic. Is where we are.
So you were saying that Cody was
Oh, just
you were
clarifying that Vinny was probably asking if anybody's tried to get tint into a trade school that's already a trade school, but have tint be like one of the things that they teach.
Yeah, well, see that. Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest with you. I know we tried to do it in Canada for a while, and it with the government, it was always an issue. So I don't know how it is in the U.S., but as far as no, I have no idea. But
So we
again, that's
talked
something we'll
about
be able to support.
we've talked about like disaster relief, essentially. Also preventative, like health care, you know, type of scenario that puts people in a good spot ahead of time. And then obviously, like we just got off talking about like trade schools and the life changing effects that it could have by the, you know, training people and the exposure and so on. Is there anything else that, you know, I think there's look, the ideas are in front of us, not already here, right? This is just the beginning. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of ideas. Is there anything else that is like a core reason why this is like to you to the right time to get this started, and things that you want to execute with it other than what we've discussed?
Well, you know, there's been so many insecurities in the past couple of years, and I think that's why the timing is perfect, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's very you know, with COVID and all that stuff, it's been very insecure for everybody, and I think now more than ever, it's very important to have a tight knit community and a bunch of people that can help each other out, and I think that's why the timing is good. Is there anything else we want to do with this? Besides helping each other out, you know, just grow it, and no, we're open to any ideas people may have, right? Again, the transparency part of Tinters for a Cause will be to get some input from supporters, from non-supporters. You know, we have our Facebook page. We're gonna have our web page as well, our website, sorry, and we'll be able to. We want feedback. We want to be able to help as much as we can, and we want the feedback. So whatever you guys think that we should be able to do with this, I mean, this is all us. It's again, what I said in the beginning. This is not a Dean Mitchell thing. This is not an Eric Debache thing. This is not it's not a brand related thing. This is an industry thing that we want to put together. So we're open to all the feedback, and all that feedback, and the committee will decide what we do with it, and then we sign off on it. So just, we want to, if you're a supporter, non-supporter, yours will be heard, even if you're not supporting. I mean, again, this is an industry thing. We're going to help you even if you're not supporting. It's not, we want to help everybody that has a voice in the industry, basically. And we want to help try and make sure that every brand that's on board, every shop that's on board is promoted equally. And that's the goal. It's just, transparency. I'm not going to say enough, but transparency and help and feedback is what we need.
Because it's called Tinters for a cause. It's not Dean for a cause. It's not XPEL for a cause. It's Tinters for a cause, which means the way I understand it, like you just said, you're spearheading it. Somebody has to get some balls rolling, but at the end of the day, it's a community effort. It's totally a community effort.
Exactly. Yep. I'm just a magnet to attract. Does that make sense? I'm the magnet to attract everybody together to be able to help everybody who's anybody. So we just that's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah. And there's a lot of people I'd like to thank. Yeah, go ahead. We'll do the thing.
No, you go ahead. You sure?
No, I was just going to say there's a lot of people I want to thank, that are involved, but we can do that later. Let's go with the questions.
All right. Jesse asked if there's is there a timeline, and maybe what are the first goals, or is this just kind of the building stage, and will it be transparent online? How do you?
Oh yeah. So right now, I want to encourage people to stop donating on the GoFundMe. I actually have to stop that because me being transparent, that money right now that everybody can see, you have to put a bank account. You have to attach a bank account to that GoFundMe. So I want to put a halt to that because that money is going to my personal bank account, which doesn't make any sense. So obviously that money, I'm going to show all the deposits. I'm going to send everybody screenshots of all the deposits, and that money is going to be forwarded to the NPO, nonprofit organization. When the bank account is set up over there, I'm just going to wire the money over. So, I mean, everybody can see the money that's been deposited in the GoFundMe right now. So it's all going to be on the open. And what was the other part of his question? Sorry.
It is there a timeline, as far as you know, a loose timeline?
When do we start? Okay, so the NPO should be up and running by the end of January, is what we were told. Should everything go smooth, and the first donations, everybody that's signed up to on Tint Wiz to Tinters for a Cause, the first donations will start end of January. So basically, as soon as the bank account is set up and the NPO is official, we'll send a link. I don't know exactly how it works. There's people above trying to make that happen. We'll be able to put a link there where you can donate the money directly through a wire transfer or something like that. And that should be by the end of January. And then as soon as we start having our first donations, we're going to start rocking and rolling. The goal is not to leave any money in that bank account. It's to start helping right away. So if by the end of January, we've got at least $5,000 that from the GoFundMe, and then the first donations, if somebody needs help in February, boom, we're going to start helping right away, right? So this is all coming together pretty quick, and there's the holidays, so it's a little tough to get everything going, but it's going to should be all done by the end of January, and then we're going to start helping right away. So 2022 is going to be a year to remember for Tinters for a Cause, first year ever. So we're gonna help a lot of people.
Mitch said, make sure y'all do background checks. If a tinter has his and her matching Corvettes, why would they need the money? Question mark.
Well, and that's why I want a big committee, right? Because you can listen. There could be a guy saying, "Listen." Oh, and that's the other thing I wanted to say. And where I was going with this is, somebody can say, "Oh, I'm hurt. I got to take 2 weeks off," but they go to Mexico and you help them out. So we're going to be we have to filter out a lot of stuff. So that's why when that committee is put together, I want to they get to decide, and it'll be tough. But the other thing I wanted to say is, when I was talking about Tinters for a Cause being able to support, say, Eric, you've got a tint shop and you break your arm, you're out of commission for 3 months, right? We pay Tint Dude 3 to come to your shop, Jason Omeletsky, to replace you for 3 months. What does it cost you? Zero. It costs Tinters for a Cause Jason's salary, for example, to help you not lose your shop, not lose any income while you recover. So that's the kind of stuff we want to do. We want to put a team of installers together to be able to go to shops and make a difference when the owner or the installer or whatever is out of commission. So again, those are all ideas that we're gonna make happen, and we need more. So.
Dave Dillinger suggested you read the mission statement. Dangerous. Dillinger?
Oh, the mission statement. Yes. Okay, listen to this. So, David, by the way, thank you very much for this. Let me find it real quick. Sorry, I gotta look at my phone. Bear with me.
Good.
Tinters. Yeah, David put this together, which I thought was brilliant. By the way, I'm super sad to lose David Dillinger as a coworker, but he'll remain a friend forever. So it is what it is. I can tell you that where he's going, they're really lucky to have him.
That's
okay,
without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%. Dave he's like a brother to me. So I wish him all the best. And listen to this. So Tinters for a Cause. Tinters for a Cause is a charitable foundation that includes representatives from every aspect of doing business in the window film industry, from manufacturers and suppliers to retail store and installation. We have come together to raise funds to help members of the window film community and their families when tragedy or hardships arise. So there's this paragraph about the window film industry, which we don't need to go over because I think everybody on here is a window tinter or an industry member. So I'll skip to the mission. The mission is to raise funds to provide financial aid to members in the window film industry and their families when tragedy or hardship arises. The vision is to continuing to provide financial relief to members in the window film industry in need of assistance while growing the foundations to broaden the scope of our assistance to the window film community. This could potentially include the sole proprietors in the industry having access to affordable health insurance or assisting in other industry-related challenges that arise in the future. So that's the goal, basically, and that's what we've are going to present to the government authorities when we bring forward our nonprofit organization offer and to get it approved. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to be insane. It's going to be insane. We're gonna change the industry we're all going to change the industry for the better, I'm sure, with this.
I agree. And it's an opportunity. I think I've heard many times people say, in general, like, hey, I'd love to help the community. I just don't know what to do. And like this gives some sort of structure to, it's not about like, I know sometimes the thought goes like, the first thought's like, well, how's the money going to get spent? But really another important thought is like, oh, how could I potentially contribute to this, whether it be money or other ways that come about to be able to give back to the community, because the value is going to, like, what's going to feel good about this is helping others, not like receiving money. You know what I mean? Like, certainly it's a relief to be on the receiving end of it, but truly you're probably in a horrible scenario. So it's not like, but like, I feel like, you can do a lot of good by looking for ways to give to it, because that's rewarding because,
Yeah. Instead of having like we've been doing in the past, right? In the last 3 events is I'll auction off a keg, I'll auction off a heat gun, and then we end up going to that winner's shop and creating an event. But we already have that money now. We're already gonna have that money in a few months, right? So we're thinking $10,000, $15,000 a month are gonna be coming in as of January. So why not be able to, and we've been generating $15,000 to $20,000 per event, right? And we did it 3 times in 3 years, so that's once a year. But now we have that kind of income coming in every month, and it's going to keep growing. So who's to say that we can't make a difference right now, right? So that's the goal. That's the goal, and it's gonna affect a lot of people in a good way, and right now. So.
And going back to the manufacturer way, because just to kind of recap for anybody who may have joined late, if you want to contribute as a shop, you're essentially pledging one tint job per month between the value of $150 to maybe $1,000. Obviously, there's no cap, but that's kind of what, assumingly, one tint job probably ranges.
Yeah.
Now, from the manufacturer level, and if you want to do that as a shop, just simply enter your information, tintwiz.me/tinters for a cause. You enter your information and you'll start to get updates after that as it progresses. Now, as a shop, as a manufacturer, can you go over how manufacturers are going to be involved one more time?
Yeah, so manufacturers, basically all we're asking from them right now is just to donate one product in their lineup of products once a month, and they have their representative, or it could even be me just going online and auctioning it off. So it's going to be a weekly auction. So let's say Eastman decides to auction off one of their rolls of paint protection film. We start that auction on the Monday, end it on the Friday within Eastman dealers, Lumar Suntech dealers, and then the winner donates to the GoFundMe. The week after, XPEL donates a roll of PPF, and then we auction it off Monday to Friday. That the proceeds go to the GoFundMe, and then Solar Effects, and then just all the brands that come on board. And then what brands can do outside of that is encourage their dealers to have, and that's something that I think I spoke to you a little bit about, is we want to have donation boxes made up with every shop that supports Tinters for a Cause. They have a donation box, and customers can just put money in there and donate it as at the same time you would donate your proceeds for one tint job. But yeah, and manufacturers can also, when we have our official NPO, they can donate whatever they want. And get a receipt, it's a tax write-off, right? So whatever they want to do, I mean, whatever manufacturers want to do, we're not putting any kind of pressure on anybody. We just want everybody involved, and we're not looking at the amount, we're looking at the involvement, right? And if everybody, the whole community, the whole industry is involved, this will grow exponentially.
Yep.
Is that even a word? Yeah.
It is, for sure. It's a word. It's the right word.
Thank you. My English is getting better.
Your English is perfect. Something we haven't mentioned, I don't think yet, is the Facebook group. So there's a Tinters for a Cause Facebook group that you can right now, you can go on Facebook, search Tinters for a Cause, and join the Facebook group. That's just a great place to be a part of, because you're going to be in the know and along for the journey. Yeah. The URL is up here on screen, and see if I can link it real quick.
Yeah, I got with you, Eric, for some merch. We're gonna have some shirts made. And again, I don't want to steal from anybody's thunder. There's a lot of good guys. I'm thinking of Louis with his amazing hat. I'm thinking of Jason with his Tinter branding and stuff like that. If we can somehow just add a logo to their stuff and give proceeds, which I think these guys are doing a phenomenal job at doing. If we can just add a logo and they give $1 or $2, they
A little frozen. We're just going to give it a minute. I assume something will happen, and then we'll jump right back into it. Donnie Dixon said, "Remember that face." I don't know if it means the frozen face on the screen, but I'm sure Dean will be right back with us any second. He kind of has a weak internet connection today, which is no big deal. And yeah, so Facebook group, just search. It's up screen. It's on screen now. Just search Tinters for a Cause. Join the Facebook group. That way you can't miss anything forever. And Dean is back. Hey,
God, I'm sorry.
it's all right. No big deal. We're still here.
So where were we?
Patrick had a question. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know where it got cut off, to be honest. It was a good minute or two ago.
Damn.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead. What was the question?
Patrick had a question. Patrick Fransco, the powerhouse marketing, iMagnet marketing
Yes.
powerhouse, Patrick Fransco. Everybody knows who he is. He asked, like,
Yes.
a company like him, would the same apply? Like, he would just donate maybe a service to the auction, like maybe some sort of marketing service or a website or something, right?
Yeah. So kind of like what's Rick McIntyre, Sun Distributing, right? He distributes tools. He came on board. He's going to donate some tools each month, and that's part of the brand, the manufacturer side of the foundation. So yeah, if Patrick Fransco wants to join in and offer any kind of service and auction it off and donate the proceeds, yeah, we're going to put him in the manufacturer side of the charity. But yeah, no, it's more than what. And yeah, and again, I spoke to Patrick Fransco briefly on his podcast the other day, and I thank him very much. I've been littering his Window Film Pros Facebook page with all these shops coming on board and sharing the good news, and he's been nothing but supportive. I love the guy, and thank you very much, Pat, if you're listening. Very much appreciated. Just like Rick Tallman with Window Film Revolution, he's been letting me litter his Facebook page as well. So thank you, Rick, if you're listening. You guys have been, and Tintertainment. I've got Carlos who's letting me litter his as well. So again, you guys' platforms have been nothing but supportive, and thank you. And I try to use words that are above my but yeah, keep going.
So you, when you're saying littering, what you're referencing is that when shops are signing up, you're sharing that, like
every single
Tom
time
from the Art of Window Tint today just signed up. So he was number 55. Total locations that have signed up as of before the show started was 55. Yeah.
Yep, there was 55. And I've been posting. I've been asking them to send me their logos. I take a screenshot and just share it with everybody. I think it's awesome that these guys are coming on board. I got guys like Mike Burke who is in discussions with all his. There go again. Oh, we're back. Okay, we're back. So Mike Burke, he has 11 of his personal shops that came on board, and he's got some of his franchisees that are coming on board as well that I've published, that I've posted about, and it's just I want to share the news. I think it's the least I can do is promote them and thank them publicly for what they're getting involved in. So yeah, it's insane. What's going on right now is insane, and it's very heartwarming. But again, thank you guys for your platforms. You're nothing but awesome.
Cool. Well, Patrick says that's what his group was created for, and you're welcome without any littering issues. Litter as much as.
Is that the good word to say? I've been littering, but because I've been posting so much recently, I just don't want I feel like it's littering, but.
Hey, I like the term. It's better than spamming, and it's neither spam or litter, frankly. No, so it's neither of those truly.
Just sharing the good news and the support in the industry right now is just phenomenal. So it's worth sharing. And again, I applaud these guys for letting me share the good news on a daily basis on their platform. So thank you guys. Any other questions that people want to? And again, I want to make sure that everybody feels free to reach out to me directly on my messenger. If you've got ideas, if you've got people that need help, just reach out, and we'll see what we can do. We're gonna, once the committee is put together, all that stuff is going to be shared, and nobody will go unnoticed, or nobody will be ignored, is what I meant to say. Nobody.
And maybe people will be less skeptical, but it was like, no, COVID came out, vaccine mandatory. And
Haas said he's going to reach out to you through your OnlyFans page.
Yeah, I take my shirt off only for Haas.
He's the only fan.
Yeah. Only fans. Yeah, right. That'd be a good way to bring in some income.
Yeah, it truly seems to be. Yeah.
Did I?
Go ahead.
Did I just see Cody Becker say, "Send me the link"?
Yes.
There you go. Short Tint and more. Is that an official? We're coming on board.
He's asking for your OnlyFans link, Dean.
Oh, damn.
I don't know, Cody. Clear it up. Are you
it.
on board or not? You're under the pressure.
Clear it up, Cody. Bro.
Which link did
Get
you
me the
have?
link. I'll get you the link to the Tint Wiz form for you. Now I'm gonna small town tinner for that deciding vote. Oh, so what's that question from?
I'm gonna have to backtrack to figure that out. Actually, do you use your alias James Hartfield? No.
James Hetfield. Yeah. Give me fuel. Give me fire.
Jordan, can you clarify that question? What deciding vote were we talking about?
Y'all gonna have a non-biased small town tinner for that? Who knows? Why not? Steve Saladin is the best. I'm reading these comments, and yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Stephen. Together, this is going to be unstoppable. So Stephen is the one that's been with me from day one to spearhead this whole charity thing. Him and I have had many talks, and we've gotten together many times. Well, I guess I can say many times. And every time we get together, we're like, dude, we got to make this happen someday. And now's the time. And we did it, Stephen. Thank you. We did it. So again, I clicked the go button for this charity, but I've got so many people that are Oh, we're back?
Kinda.
We're back? Yeah?
Kinda,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
So I've got so many people supporting and on the same page as myself, and that are spearheading this whole thing. So you know who you are, and thank you. There's, Dave Dillinger's another one of them who's been right up there with Stephen, saying that we need to make this happen. So Dave Dillinger, there's so many people I'd like to thank that we wouldn't have enough time, and New Year's would be upon us, and we wouldn't be finished. But it's just it's insane to see the support and with everybody. I mean, Eric, I've told you enough. I mean, I can thank you enough for donating your time and your platform as well for all this, and to be able to put all this on Tint Wiz and make it so easy for people to. It's one click, you fill it out, boom, you're in there, and it's so easy for us to be able to follow that and to send that reminder. So I love you, brother.
My pleasure, man. Thank you for spearheading this. And I think everybody knows that it's the next step. It's the next step. We see these, like you said, we see these events happening when something happens, but this is a very logical step. And I think I know myself, I feel like I was like, you're the perfect man for the job to spearhead it, but obviously it's not you, it's the community. And I think the community is the perfect community for the job right now. Right? So it works.
The entire industry needs a thank you, and they need to thank themselves. And I want to take this opportunity. You're using a specific brand and you see they're not involved, reach out to your rep, to your local rep, ask them if they know anybody higher up that can. I'm waiting for an answer from Ceramic Pro, from 3M, from I think Coolview's in the bag. We're just waiting on David Carley and Jeff. And who else is there? There's Premium Shield. There's Avery. And if your brand that you're using is not supporting us right now, and they want to or want to later, encourage them to do so and help the movement. It's really a movement, as well as a charity. So yeah, let's.
I want to just like
reach out
repeat
to
that.
you.
Like, if it's important to you, like, right, if what you're saying, if it's important, if you feel this is an important cause and you don't see your vendors that you buy from involved, you have to show them that this is important to you, because they want to be part of things typically that are important to their customers. So it's good to communicate it upwards. So I really just wanted to like repeat that. It goes a long way when you communicate that it's important to you.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, and reach out to your if you know other window tinters or PPF installers that have shops that you're not competing against and you feel that they could be interested, just get them to reach out, send them the link to fill out that form, and yeah, I want to hit that 500 shops before the end of the year. That's the goal, and then we're gonna be talking serious dollars when we hit that number. But we've got some good grounds to start off on with the kind of money that we'll be generating right off the get-go. So yeah, so start sending your ideas as to who, what, where, and how you want us to help, and by the end of January, everything should be put together and ready to go.
Beautiful. So
I saw a comment from Dave Dillinger. What did he say? It went by too fast. Exactly, Dave. That's it. When we started tinting back, 25 years plus ago, it was to each his own, right? And it's good to see the unity in the industry nowadays. And I want that more than anything else. So, yeah, it's all good.
Billy Ayton asked for like a flat glass company. How would you kind of think about donating? Would it be like one flat glass job of the month?
Yeah, but that could be a lot of money, right? These
You're
flat
gonna pick
glass
though,
jobs
right?
are. Yeah,
It's not like it's not a lottery. Like some flat glass
No,
jobs are $350.
Yeah, but if
20,000.
Listen, if a flat glass company decides to donate $20,000, I mean, I'm open to that. But realistically, if flat glass shops that usually do large contracts just want to donate the minimum, which is what did we say, between $200 to $250, $200 to $200, the equivalent of one automotive tint job per month. So
Right.
that's $250 to $1,000. Anywhere between those two amounts is fine. I wouldn't expect anybody to donate 100% of the proceeds of a 10,000 square foot flat glass job. That doesn't make any sense, right? Unless they want to. Obviously, we're open, but it wouldn't make any sense. But it's just to have a steady flow of income that will allow us to help on a regular basis, basically, is what we're trying to do, and then grow that network to do even better things that we talked about earlier.
Jesse said, can you put the Tint Wiz link up again? I tried, it didn't work. On Facebook page doesn't have a link for GoFundMe. So let me jump in and say, there is no link for GoFundMe. There's no more using GoFundMe. That's a thing of the past. For right now, I don't believe there's a way for you to donate money. All you need to do is sign up so that you're committed to doing it, and maybe join the Facebook group so you're not going to miss out on any updates. And that's total. So here's that link again, but it's not a link to donate. It's just a link to get involved, to show your commitment. And don't forget, it's tintwiz.me/Tinters for a cause. Don't type in .com, because if you did, that might be why it didn't work potentially. And are you still there, Dean? I'll jump into Haas's question while Dean's frozen. He said, how do we get the money to you when it starts up? From my understanding, what Dean said earlier in the Tint Wizdom was that isn't necessarily like set up yet, how the money is going to transfer. But obviously that will be set up before the time is needed. But it sounded like that was something that needed to be squared away with, still squared away, essentially. Maybe has to do with the nonprofit and so on. So link in the chat. I can definitely do that. I don't know if it's any more clickable in the chat, but I will definitely do it. And that's the link in the chat. And essentially that link is just that, you know, it's a form, you're going to fill it out. There's a join the cause button and you fill out your name, your number, your shop address, your shop name, and so on. And this is going to basically show your commitment. So when the first opportunity to donate happens, you know, you'll be involved and so on and so on. So Dean, it says devices, let's see. Dean's back. Bam.
Oh, God. There you go.
So
Got to be that Canadian cutting us off.
Are you supposed to be going to Starbucks, Dean?
Are we good?
I think we're good.
Can you hear me? Okay. Dean, you could have made for Starbucks to Starbucks by now. Oh, Rick, I love you. So I did see a message before we got cut off with Haas asking where to send the money. Did you get that?
Yes. I did, and I think I answered it. I said it was not set up yet. Those details will come out
you hear me?
when they're ready, right?
Yeah, exactly. Stan Foster. There's another tint school right there. Stan Foster. He's a great teacher. And what's he saying? You're cooking dinner and listening with some distractions, but it's possible to contribute pledge a set amount per month. Yes, it is, Stan. You know, anywhere between $200 to $250 a month, you choose. But yes, we want the minimum to be at least 200, which is, you know, the average regular job on a sedan for depending on your market. We feel that 200 is a fair minimum. So yes, Stan, we could also use you as a and what we were talking about earlier by sending people you to get trained and pay you to train tinters. So there's a lot of things we can do. But yeah. Oh, I think we're breaking up again.
No, you sound good. I'm just scanning through the comments, but your answer to Stan's came through perfect. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Man, this sucks. I'm sorry. You should have stayed home.
That's perfect. I don't think we missed any questions. I'm just sorry. I'm just kind of scanning through to make sure.
Yeah.
But Barry reiterated that donations are tax deductible, which they are, right?
They will be. They will be once we have the NPO. That's automatic. Yeah. So you can donate whatever amount and collect a tax receipt at the end of the year. Will be. I guess listen. I don't know exactly how it works. That's going to be the accountant and the lawyer. That's above my pay scale. But yes, when you have an NPO, I believe, Eric, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that you do get tax receipts when you donate to a nonprofit organization. That's automatic, right?
That's it. That's right. I think so. I mean, as far as I know, that's totally, there's no even gray area with that. That is a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the cool thing, again, is you're donating to something you know where the money's going and who you're going to help. So that makes it, to me, that makes it better.
By far, like you said, you're not donating and 2% is going to go, you know, there's some donations that have happened out there in the recent time because they've been made public to where like a company will, let's say, donate $100,000 to XYZ fund and they spend like $1 million on commercials to brag about donating $100,000. And you're like, so you could have donated like $1 million. I know it wouldn't have done the same thing, but like, it seems a little shady. And you're like, that's where some money goes. And in this case, it's like, no, that's not what you're getting yourself into.
100%.
Right.
100% of the money is going to be very visible, transparent, and you'll know exactly where it's going 100% of the time. That I can guarantee. Yep.
Yeah, and then we're gonna fill it up with chocolate and marshmallows.
What did Rob say?
And then I'm gonna stick
Will you sing
Rob
some Bon
asked you to
Jovi?
sing. Is that how we're going to wrap this up?
So the reason he's asking that
As-
is because one of the International Window Film Conference in San Antonio, Texas, back in 2018, I believe. Rob, correct me if I'm wrong, but we went to Mad Dogs on the Riverwalk, and Bon Jovi came on. I mean, I went up on stage asking for Bon Jovi, and they started singing "It's All the Same." Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm not going to do this here, brother. I have to have a couple beers in me before I start singing. You know that, Rob.
There will be a segment in Tinter Battles, which you'll be forced to play a guitar and sing. So that'll be a good time.
100%. Oh yeah, will be a good time. Oh, I think I'm losing you again. Jesus.
It's a little, but
Oh,
I don't know that there's any questions. There's a lot of marshmallow talk, chocolates and marshmallows. I think we're
no more questions.
I think you've done a good job of getting it out there. Honestly, it's very clear, and that's what's important. Is that it's simple, it's clear. I understand. I think everybody else does. It's transparent, and it's at the beginning. And that's the point. This is just the beginning. This is where it's at, and it's where it's going, and it's beautiful.
Oh, that's true. Oh, you're back, man. This keeps cutting off. So as much as I'd love to stay, I think we're gonna have to end this because it just the reception seems to be getting lower and lower. So. Again, I want to thank everybody. If you're listening, if you're on there, I want to thank everybody for their donations, for their support. Let's keep this going, guys. The vibe is here. We're changing the game, and we're gonna keep pushing till we really truly make a difference on a daily basis. So, thank you, everybody. Really appreciate everything.
Thank you, Dean. You know what? Before you go, I want to read one comment. I might not be able to find it, but I remember it. And it was, I believe it was Rick McIntyre, even if it wasn't. But the comment basically said, we don't need any thanks. Like the thanks is seeing this work out, essentially, is the thanks.
I agree.
I feel like that is so well said. And that's the point is, it's a universal thanks to everybody. Everybody wants to just see it work out.
Yeah, enough with the thank yous. Let's get the shit rolling and let's get the shit going, and let's get shit done basically for everybody. And then I think that's what we need. So thank you, but that's it.
Thank you. All the thank yous are done. Join the Tinters for a Cause Facebook group.
Yes, please.
And thank you everybody for watching and joining.
Happy New Year, everybody. I wish everybody a lot of whatever they want for 2022. A lot of health, a lot of business. Love you all, and we'll see you next year. Thanks, Eric. Happy New Year.
Bye, Dean. I'm going to let you go, and I'll just ramble on for a few more extra minutes. So thank you again, Dean. Have a good evening.
Thanks, guys. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. So that's that for Tint Wisdom, the last Tint Wisdom of 2021. Obviously, we said we're done with the thank yous, but that was just bullshit. Thank you, Dean, for putting this together, and thank you for the window film community and PPF and everybody, the community, for making an environment where something like this can happen and grow. And it's very exciting, and it feels really good to know that something like this is taking shape and will be there. So, and this is the last Tint Wisdom. So like Dean said, Happy New Year. And obviously like super grateful for 2021. It was, we had that uncertain 2020, but 2021 was a lot better, I think, for everybody, hopefully. And 2022 will, follow suit and hopefully be an incredible year for everybody. We will be starting 2022 off with a Tint Wisdom. We'll be joined by Chris Hardy and Chris West, also known as Clearbra Chris, one of the best Clearbra installers in the entire galaxy. And then Chris Hardy, friend of the show, and excited to have him back on and talk. So we'll be kicking off Tint Wisdom next week with Chris times two. And we'll see you there. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing everyone next Wednesday. And That's that. Bye, everyone.